Welcome back to the Bacon Lodge. In the last video, I made this form over here that we're going to be putting concrete in today. The form is all set up. Weather hopefully will hold out here, but first I got to do is I got to take the skid steer here. We got to go down to the sand pit and get a whole bunch of sand, and then we're going to go to the gravel pit, or gravel yard I guess you'd call it, and get a load of pea stone that we're going to mix in with it. And then we'll use our contraption that goes on top of here, which is a pretty cool cement mixer, and I'll show you how to do that. And we'll mix it up and start leveling it up. This is by no means a professional job because I'm not a professional. So this is just me kind of showing you what I'm doing. I'm probably messing some things up. If you want to let me know what I did wrong, that way I can fix it in the future, I'd very much appreciate it. Welcome to Bacon's Lodge, where I will build many things, fix even more, and try to make it an adventure along the way. So this is me going and getting the sand from our sand pit, I guess you'd call it. It's just a big hole I dug in the back part of the property where it's all sand. It's like really, really awesome sand for this. So you're going to just see me do a couple of scoops of it here. I ended up getting like probably 12 scoops of it. It's about a yard bucket that I used. I didn't need that much, but I spread it out to make a little bit smoother parking space for the area. So that's kind of what this is, just me showing you scooping the sand. I didn't get any shots of when I went to the gravel yard. It was kind of rainy and it was kind of a crap show. So okay, so this is how I mix the concrete. I have this concrete mixer that goes on the front of the skid steer, and you can kind of use it as a bucket to help load it. So I scoop partial scoop of pea stone in there to get some in the bottom of it. I'll eventually shovel some more in with the shovel. Then I go back to my sand pile, which is off in the background there, and I get a couple of scoops of that. I actually put more sand than the pea stone in there. Kind of have to shake it back and forth so you see the bobcat doing a little jig to try to get down to the bottom of the bucket there. But it makes it so it goes on in there. The sand's pretty clean. I end up scooping a little bit of grass here, so I have to break it off at the end, or clean it off at the end, but that's not a big deal. Drive it back over to my mixing station area over here where it has the hose and cement mix that I add to the area here. What you see me doing here is I actually had to put the safety bar down, turn on the hydraulics to make the auger mix while I'm outside of it. Probably not the safest thing ever, but that's what I need to do. Then I added a lot of water, a lot more than what I show you here because you have to add a lot of water. Here I am picking up the Portland cement, which is about a 100-pound bag. And I only use half of it in here because I'm actually only mixing it about half capacity of this mixer. The reason why is because on both sides of it, the auger is bent in, so I have to kind of not mix as much, and I have to play a little bit more with the stick. The cement was from last year, so I just have to break it up. Once it gets in there, it mixes out. Put the rest of the water in, a ton of it. I actually put in a little bit more pea stone with the shovel, but I didn't show you that. And just here to mix it up, you can kind of see it looking pretty awesome in there. A little bit dry on the one side, but overall it works out okay. You can see that it's pretty low in there. You could be able to mix it almost all the way up to the top, but with those ones broken on the side, I can't do that. And then I have a short time lapse of me filling out the rest of it. I think it took 9 or 10 bucketfuls to get this all done, and I screed it all the way across, and it ends up looking pretty good. Okay, so once again, I'm not a professional at this, but this first part that I screeded off, it's pretty much flashed over. So I'm just going to trowel it a little bit, or float it a little bit, sorry. This is a magnesium float, and I'm going to try to do it. I'm not the best at this, but at least I can make it look somewhat good. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to cheat because I'm going to hide all my imperfections, and I'll show you that at the end. Okay, I'm sure there's a better way to do that, but that's all I really know. So I'm just going to keep going on and at least float the area that is already flashed over. And then I'll do the other side once that flashes over as well. So the concrete is pretty much firm to the touch. At least this first half of it is. And since it's going to be outside, the way I troweled it is super smooth and you could slip on it, and I don't want that. So we're going to use what's called a broom finish on it. It's not super smooth at all. Looks kind of like garbage. This hides all my imperfections. I like to do it on outside stuff, and I can go under the guise that it's for traction, but it's basically just to erase all my swipe marks. So I'll show you how to do that. Pretty simple. All you do is you take your broom and you just slowly drag it across. You want it to be pretty solid. You can't be really soupy and watery. Actually, over there where I retroweled it a little bit, might be a little bit wet, but we're still going to do this first part because I don't want to miss it on this side. You don't want to push down at all because the idea is just to put the grooves on top. If you push down, it seems like it'll take a lot of the cream off the top, and then later on, as it gets older, you'll see it deteriorate quicker. Then when you're done, just make sure you wash the broom off really well. And this will be the last one for now. If you don't, you'll have a concrete covered broom for the rest of your broom's life. So take it off. You can still see some of the marks, but it clears it off pretty well. And like I said, this is going to be covered up by pallet racking, so you're not going to see any of this anyhow. And it's going to get scraped up pretty bad with different buckets and stuff being slid across it. So, but that's it. I'll finish the other half after it dries off a bit. And then next, I'll probably just show you taking off the forms tomorrow. Okay, and that's the pad. I'm leaving these boards, they're taking off. I'm just gonna leave them over here because when I put the pallet racking in, I'm gonna need boards to use on the pallets or on the shelves to hold the pallets up. I let it sit for 2 days. Evidently it's still a little soft because I nicked it here a bit, but it'll be fine. I'll put gravel up next to it and no one will ever see it, so that's fine with me. Hopefully you liked it. Maybe you learned something. Next thing I'll be doing, next video, if I get up here next week, we'll be putting the pallet racking on here. I'll show you how I anchor it into the concrete with wedge anchors. I do need to seal it, but the seal that I got says it has to be 4 weeks old. So I probably won't show you that because that'll probably have to happen either next spring, probably next spring, because it's going to get cold up here and it's got to be above 60 the whole time. I want to thank you for watching it. Please chime in again. Give me a like or subscribe or comment or anything if you feel it's worth it. In case anybody hasn't told you this today, you are enough. If you ever need help or anything, just reach out to somebody so they can help you. There's a lot of stuff with people in the world that they just don't ask for help, and you can get it if you need it. And other than that, may God bless you and you have a great day.